Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. This is the next session, the World Gastroenterology Organization Global Distinguished Lectureship. My name is Guan Yeoh from the National University of Singapore, and with me as co-chairs, Professor Akiko Shiotani from the Kawasaki Medical School, and we also have the pleasure of WGO President, Professor Geoffrey Metz with us. So to introduce the distinguished speaker, Professor Metz will do the kind introduction.
Thank you very much indeed. And welcome everybody to the lecture this afternoon. It's my great pleasure to introduce Professor Varocha Mahachai, who will deliver the WGO Global Distinguished Lecture this afternoon. I've known Varocha for nearly 20 years, and the first impression that, indeed an ongoing impression that one may have, is of a quiet, unassuming gastroenterologist. But on getting to know Varocha much better, one recognizes a highly intelligent, hardworking, incisive woman who has quietly achieved a huge amount in her career. In my time at the World Gastroenterology Organization, I've seen her major contributions through the Scientific Program Committee, Publications Committee, World Digestive Health Day Committee, Nominations Committee, and over the past 4 years, Varocha has been on Governing Council of WGO, where she's Chair of Promotion of Education in the Asia-Pacific region. For several years, Varocha has been involved in endoscopy training with the WEO PET program in Bangkok. Varocha is past president of the Gastroenterological Association of Thailand, currently academic advisor at the Centre of Excellence in Digestive Diseases at her university. Varocha's interests span all areas of gastrointestinal disease, but importantly, she's corresponding fellow in Asia for the European Helicobacter Study Group. So it's appropriate for Varocha to address us today on the subject, the evolution of Helicobacter pylori eradication therapy from standard to rescue therapy, a global perspective. Varocha, thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your kind word, Professor Geoffrey Metz, and I thank for Mr. and Mr. Chairman for moderate my talk today. My talk today is going to be evolution of Helicobacter pylori eradication from standard to rescue therapy, a global perspective. And first of all, my sincere appreciation goes to Professor Stephen Chow, the President of APDW 2025, and the organizing committee and WGO organization for giving me the opportunity to speak on WGO lectureship in Singapore. And I have no disclosure. As you can realize that since the discovery of Helicobacter 40 years ago, in the early 1980s, by Professor Warren and Professor Marshall, a finding that has revolutionized management of gastric disorder in the past 40 years. And in recognition of their pioneering work and the profound impact on global health, both of them were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in 2005. So as you know, Helicobacter pylori infection infect more than half of the world population, causing chronic gastritis, peptic ulcer disease, and leading cause of gastric cancer. It has been classified Class 1 carcinogen by ARC WGO in 1994. And the Kyoto Consensus in 2015 has also designated this Helicobacter pylori as an infectious disease and must be killed regardless of the condition. There have been international and regional consensus recommendation around the world. And the regular one is a European one, Maastricht Foreign Consensus. The latest sixth one was in 2022. And American College of Gastroenterology by William Khay has put out CPG for Helicobacter pylori management. Asia Pacific consensus, we had one in 2015, but it was updated just last month. And we hope you will see the result in the publication. Taipei consensus mainly deal with gastric cancer prevention just earlier this year. And there have been other national and regional consensus. So how has the eradication treatment changed in the past 30, 40 years? From the beginning in 1980, when it first discovered, it was treated basically by antibiotics, or sometimes bismuth, amoxicillin, metronidazole. Those are the key antibiotics. And the anti-secretory agent at that time was H2 blocker. Not until in the 90s, PPI has become available, so different regimen has been used, like high-dose PPI triple, dual treatment, mainly with amoxicillin, and vaccine development started at that time. In the 2000 onward, bismuth quadruple has become available, and you will see many regimens used with different results, include concomitant non-bismuth as well. PPI triple duration increased to 14 days. And the rising of clarithromycin resistance and also levofloxacin has also increased in the past many years. So if clarithromycin is resistant 50%, it should not be used in the first line. And recently, in the past 10 years, I would say antibiotic susceptibility-based treatment have been available in the regional, and we based on regional and individual data. Another important one is PCAP. PCAP has been used as an alternative to PPI triple and dual therapy. Other medicine of low resistance include fluoroquinolone and rifabutin. Those are the two of the antibiotics that have very low resistance, but the problem is not available worldwide. Surprisingly, in US, they have it, these two antibiotics. And of course, bismuth has become combined with other antibiotics in the form of pylori, mainly in use in European countries and now and also US as well. It's not available in this part of the world. As a result, emergence of antibiotic resistance, eradication rate of H. pylori using standard triple therapy has become unacceptably low, below 80%, and the goal we should aim for over 90% or more kill rate. And the antibiotic stewardship has been embarked upon, try to get best eradication results. And optimal dose and duration of H. pylori regimen is very important. And in area of high antibiotic resistance, PCAP and bismuth-based combination even can be used as a first line, as you may see from the data later. Because like in US, for example, the clarithromycin is so high, up to 20-30%. So they started as a first-line therapy, and also bismuth. Those are the two that can overcome antibiotic resistance. The data on local susceptibility pattern and surveillance is important in the rationale of choosing eradication treatment and regimen either in the region or to monitor the outcome and treatment guidelines. So those are the kind of references. Susceptibility treatment tests has been available recently, basically to improve the eradication. This is interesting data just published this year by group Dr. Scholz in Germany in collaboration with experts around the world to provide this data. As you can see here, antibiotic resistance are high in some countries. This is a result at the continent level from 2018 to 23. As you can see in Africa, the resistance are high throughout. Clarithromycin, levofloxacin, metronidazole, amoxicillin, rifampicin, tetracycline are low in other parts of the world, except in Africa. And the next one, North America, as you see here, clarithromycin is over 50%, so they not recommend to use as first line. Levofloxacin is increasing. Metro always have been high throughout the world, like over 40–50%. But amoxi, rifampicin, tetracycline tend to be the antibiotic that have low resistance. South America, yes, it's still high, but not as high as in other continents. Asia Pacific, we have all the data, and it isn't too bad, you know. First line still can be used, except in the place of eradication failure, whether you have to consider other rescue therapy. In Europe, interestingly, they have a medium resistance for the first 3 antibiotics, but the other 3 are always are low. There has been a paradigm shift of the selection of eradication regimen. And so they talk about to embrace on antimicrobial stewardship to achieve high eradication rate and develop to propagate and update the best practice guideline and provide surveillance of local and regional resistance pattern. Some area it may be appropriate to recommend susceptibility tests before prescribing even first-line treatment to respect this antibiotic stewardship by using tailored therapy. Some investigators are doing that, but may not be practical worldwide. The culture guide eradication therapy versus empirical therapy, and culture guides seem to be more effective for first-line eradication. But when you use bismuth, no different whether you do culture or just do empirical treatment. The advantages of using susceptibility tests is useful to limit the increased global antibiotic resistance, to avoid unnecessary use of antibiotic and minimize the emergence of antibiotic resistance, provide an opportunity to tailor therapy in the first line to get the best eradication rate, and enable more rational use of antibiotics. The only disadvantages are you require invasive, or we don't call invasive, endoscopy biopsy for either culture or molecular technique. And non-invasive tests of AST have become available, like stool tests for natural general sequencing have been developed and may appear promising. However, practical, economical, and logistic issues need to be considered and evaluated. So what's a strategy to improve HP eradication? One, you have to have information of previous H. pylori treatment, what they've been treated for, and knowledge on the H. pylori antibiotic resistance, and also susceptibility testing, and somehow there's a way to overcome it by either, instead of changing antibiotic, you change the acid secretory agent, make it more potent so the resistance become less a problem. Or alternative, another option is to add bismuth to the regimen. And many places around the world have used bismuth quadruple as a first-line therapy. So as you can see here, in antibiotic resistant, compromise successful HP eradication, which lead to clarithromycin and levofloxacin, is we have to use less because of increased resistance. And clarithromycin containing triple therapy now produce less than 80% cure rate and are no longer acceptable as empiric treatment. And as I said, there are two options you can do: either increase, get a new level of pH for antibiotics to work better, or adding bismuth to the regimen. We have just some small study from our center to report. Vonoprazan have been used, not all countries in the world, but USA start to have it in the last few years. In Europe, they don't have PCAP. And so in US, they have either form of triple pack or dual pack. It's combination medicine. So we like to look at this different PCAP regimen in H. pylori infection in Thailand. We randomized 100 patients to 4 different groups. It's pilot study, so the number of cases were not too high. We compare 14 days dual treatment and 14-day triple treatment using the regular dose of PCAP and 7-day high dose PCAP triple therapy. And the last one by adding bismuth to the 14-day regimen. And we found that both high dose PPI triple therapy and triple therapy adding bismuth achieve higher eradication rate compared to the regular dose of PCAP. So we just like to look at this as a pilot. We probably have to do more in order to see what's the real data, because we compare to the data from Japan. I quote some important international guidelines for HP treatment. The first one, ACG guideline. The second one, ASEAN Consensus Guideline, which we just recently updated last month, and Matrix 6. And the letter may be a little small for you to read. Let me see. I would say, let's start with the US. The first line treatment seemed to be bismuth quadruple therapy used for 14 days. Clarithromycin combined with bismuth, and if clarithromycin is higher, then they use other triple therapy, avoid clarithromycin. Penicillin allergy, most guidelines will recommend bismuth quadruple without amoxicillin. Second line treatment is interesting, depend what antibiotic resistant pattern. You can, I would say the best will be bismuth quadruple therapy as an alternative first line, and the alternative second lines will be PCAP-based triple therapy. And I think most of guidelines will conclude like that. as I said, this from the matrix, high keratomycin resistant, you have to avoid keratomycin. In Japan, the standard treatment for them is PCAP, triple therapy, amoxicillin and metronidazole. And that's a government coverage for only 1 week treatment. So that's straightforward for them. They don't have different regimen. If the low kerato and metronidazole resistant, like in Europe, they can use non-bismuth quadruple or bismuth quadruple as well. High kerato and metro resistant, like in China, Turkey, Korea, Latin America, they use a bismuth quadruple. We can see later which country has bismuth available and which country have PCAP. Not all countries have the same medicine. You can see here, this is a pattern of antibiotic in US report up to 2011 to 24 by Micro, and you found that keratomycin resistance is high, over 50%. Amoxicillin always low. Metronidazole throughout the world, over 50%. So that is what Dr. William Khay suggests, that optimal bismuth quadruple is recommended in treatment naive as a first line and also in penicillin allergy. Rifabutin is a good medicine that has low resistance. PCAP, they have PCAP in US, either in the form of dual or triple therapy, can use as an empiric or after AST. And according to ACG guideline, the first line is no penicillin allergy will be bismuth quadruple, rifabutin triple, PCAP dual, or PCAP triple therapy. This is the American guideline. This is first line without susceptibility test. And if penicillin allergy, only bismuth can be used. So what happened? You talk about first line and now salvage. Salvage therapy or rescue therapy means that you have to have at least 2 treatment failure and HP still persists. So they recommend antibiotic susceptibility tests and depend which antibiotic have resistance, like if they both keratomycin and levofloxacin resist, so they have to opt off to use bismuth quadruple, like rifabutin, high dose PPI or PCAP dual, and depend what other antibiotic have problem with resistance. As I said, the key to choose eradication treatment is number 1, availability. Which medicine you have available in your region, and what are the antibiotic resistant in the region. And number 3, the cost issue, and number 4, the reimbursement. So these are in the paper of choice as well, that he pulled data from all over the world. You can look it up in the GATT 2025 published this year. So this, I summarize this table. You can have some idea, like country in Africa, the first table. PCAP is available only in Egypt, in the whole South Africa. Bismuth available only in Egypt and South Africa. The rest, you have to use something else. Bismuth not available, PCAP not available. That come down to other continent like in Asia Pacific. We just had a consensus just last month. If you look at PCAP, only available in Singapore, Malay, Thailand, but some not reimbursed, at least 3 out of many countries. Bismuth only available in Vietnam, Singapore, and Thailand. And other Asian countries like China, Korea, Japan, Iran. Only China, Korea, Japan have PCAP available right now, but it may be more available in the future. Bismuth, interestingly, only China and Iran have bismuth. And in Europe, it's interesting, they've done matrix again and again, all the 6 matrix, the PCAP not at all available for some reason. Bismuth available in most countries in Europe, and they even have pylori, which is a combination of bismuth with other antibiotics. In North America, PCAP available in US, but not in Canada, and bismuth available in both countries. South America, PCAP available, as I quote off today, only in Mexico, but maybe more in the near future. The bismuth available in few countries like Mexico and Chile. So now you can see how the problem lies. You can pick whatever you like, but you don't have them available. You can use it, so it depends what best you can use. Antibiotic susceptibility is not easy to do, and maybe not practical in your area. If you can do it, probably the best, but sometimes you cannot. So you just have to use your available data and see what best you can do. It could lead to multiple failure, but now we try best to get high eradication rate to get the good results. So now, in summary, Mr. President and Mr. Chairman, the eradication rate of more than 9% cure rate should be aimed for by using optimal effective regimens. And the choice of eradication rate rely on data of local susceptibility patterns and the data of effective regimen in the region and treatment guidelines. There has been a paradigm shift to modify current approaches and embrace antibiotic stewardship to achieve high cure rate. The evidence is still limited to the routine use of susceptibility guide therapy tests for HP treatment, and in routine clinical practice due to its availability, practicality, and cost issue. However, it would seem to provide the ideal solution for a successful eradication. So my conclusion there will be HP infect more than half of the world population and leading to gastric disorder, including serious disease like gastric cancer, and should be eradicated regardless of the clinical condition called by Kyoto Consensus in 2015. And there's a trend to increase H. pylori antibiotic resistance, leading to decline of eradication rate. So now, it's use this idea to find the best rescue therapy in your region, especially after eradication failure. Either include bismuth, quadruple therapy, or PCAP-based triple dual therapy, depend on availability in your area, cost, and of course reimbursement issues, so that can change your practice. So I thank you for your kind attention.